Sounds like you're sort of incentivized to be more and more aspirational, both in what you're projecting as well as what you're feeling.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of part of why, what Angie said about the original influencer being celebrities, I think it's moved to being regular people because it's so much easier to market things to society when they feel like it's a normal person who's marketing a product to them. But the problem is that a lot of these current Instagram models, they aren't as normal as they appear, in the sense that, you know, they have eating disorders, or a lot of what they put out there isn't exactly true in terms of them being happy and fulfilled.
Yeah. That's what the contrast that I saw mostly in Los Angeles, because I live in Australia, like I don't really know any other influences when I was here, was that, and that's what I think scared me when I was younger, because it was like I met all these people who were way more famous than me, had way heaps of money, where they were financially set and like had nice cars. Like I definitely went into a couple of Teslas that people had just from making money off YouTube. And their reality, like maybe it was just when I met them again, you know, everyone's fluctuating. But for me, it really was like this kind of scary, like, correlation between, like, the more outward success and the longer you're doing it. Just, like, yeah, a lot of people were just really, like, scared. I remember this one girl saying to me, like, you enjoy making videos now, but wait until, like, another 4 years. Like, wait until it's, like, your full-time job. And I remember that, like, really tripped me out, because I was like, oh, yeah, like, it is. I guess you have to start thinking like that. And
seems like you'd have to start, like, planning your normal human activity in a manner that would be interesting to other people.
Oh, yeah.
So that at any time the cameras can come out and you can just sort of, you can turn your life into a product.
Well, yeah, it's the commercialization of normal daily interaction. I mean, you see that with the family Instagram influencers, where, you know, there's not a moment with their kids that can't be taken pictures of in order to insert a product of some kind.
I mean, the nicer the moment is, the more shareable it is.
Yeah, the kids are the product, exactly.
It's interesting because there's this this phenomenon has been going on for a really long time, like under the surface of our culture. There's this really interesting documentary called We Live in Public, and it was about this, like, tech billionaire back in the 1990s.
Oh, that's sick. That's such a good documentary.
He basically wanted, this was before the advent of YouTube or anything like that. He wanted to create this sort of 24-hour web channel, web TV show where you could watch people living. But he did the experiment first on himself, where he just sort of live streamed his entire life, his fights with his girlfriend, him shitting on the toilet. He kind of was really interested in this idea of living life publicly as this sort of liberating statement. But of course, it got really toxic and really horrible, like, really quickly. But it's like the psychological phenomenon, because we all have this, like, psychological voyeur. Like, all of us kind of have this, like, weird thing where we, like, think we're being watched, or we want to be watched, or we want the events in our life to be validated by other people. And before that was just kind of more of an abstract flaw in the human brain. But now we have these sorts of, now we have all the tools to make that crazy thing a possibility. The idea of having your life be validated and the events in your life be validated. And I mean, it even happens to me on a smaller scale. Like, I might be reading something and enjoying it, and then I'll be like, oh, this would make a good concept for a video. And then the line of inquiry, like, you know, goes there. And I'm like, I should just be enjoying this book that I'm reading.
That now.
The piano music starts. Dun, 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 dun.
It's interesting, though, because it's just yet another way that, like, our current system kind of alienates us from experience, while also playing on our vulnerabilities. I mean, your demographic was quite young.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of them looked up to you and your lifestyle and sort of aspired to be.
Inspired is definitely the word, which I think, looking back, I do have a problem with when you talk about things like health and well-being, as, like, as best intentions as you you might have, but then you contrast that with a very thin, young body. And like, I just feel like that's why we're all, like, that's why we have eating disorders, is like, it's not just like an internal thing we're all struggling with. It's like, no, like if your life is taking pictures of your body for most days, like that's how you're getting money. And also that's just what you do. Like you're gonna obsess about it. You're gonna look at pictures of yourself and it's just, to me, it's so obvious looking back, but at the time,